Hello, welcome Dr. Sushma Singh this side. Today in Unit 26 Migration, let us start our lecture with topic migration streams. While dealing with the internal migration, demographers and population scientists early recognized four streams. The criteria is the direction of movement of the population from one place of origin to the places of destination. The migration within the bounds of the same country generates four main streams as given: rural migration stream, rural urban migration stream, urban migration stream, and urban rural migration stream. The first is rural migration stream. In villages where the economy is based on agriculture, people migrate from one village to another either for harvesting or sowing the crops or both. This is rural to rural migration. The problem is that native village does not have scope for work on agricultural farm. In other words, the supply of the labor is more than the demand. The assumption is that the native village is overcrowded and agriculturally less productive as compared to the village of destination. In this form of migration, the migrants are mostly males. Sometimes women also migrate along with the male members of the family. In countries like India, young women are married to a person living at a certain distance from their parental village. The reason is that the marriages cannot be contracted within a radius of 4 to 5 miles or 6 to 8 kilometers. This no marriage field is treated as the taboo zone. However, this practice is a feature of North India only. There is no such practice in South, where the girls are generally married to their paternal or maternal cousins. Thus, a substantial proportion of the movement of women in North India is related to the marriage customs. Women are often ignored in the migration studies. They are considered to be following their male counterparts in their capacity as mothers, daughters, sisters, and wives. But in recent years, a change has been observed regarding the established myth about female migration. Now, women move from one place to another to seek a higher education or in search of new economic opportunities. This reveals a favorable change in the pattern of female migration towards urban as well as long distance destinations. The next point is rural urban migration stream. In the less developed countries like India, Nepal, and Bangladesh, rural to urban migration is a common phenomenon. In regions where the rural population densities are very high and the pace of urban industrial development is fast, rural urban stream is most common. These towns or cities attract the surplus labor from the nearby or far off villages. In rural areas, the bargaining, poverty, misery, employment opportunities, low and uncertain or irregular wages, lack of education and health facilities are the main push factors. These conditions induce people to migrate to the urban places. In some cases, labor moves out of the village. They have no other alternative but to move out to the urban places in search of work which can sustain them and their families. On the other hand, the pull of the urban places induces the rural population to migrate. This process is related to the expectations of the migrant laborers for better employment opportunities, regular and fixed wages, and supposedly the better quality of life. But these expectations are often proved to be dreams only. A related problem is that out-migrations of educated youth for whom employment opportunities are rarely available in the native villages or towns. This forces them to migrate to the urban places. Such unguided migration to the city leads to the problems of housing in the towns and cities. The rural poor find a place in business and squatter colonies called slums in the cities. For such migrants, habitat changes but not the quality of life. Now the next point is urban migration stream. Urban to urban migration is a common phenomenon both in highly urbanized parts of the world as well as in the less developed countries. People move out from one urban place to the other. The motive is to find jobs to improve their economic status. It is a common feature that large cities attract people from small towns in their neighborhood. This is especially true in the case of skilled workers. This practice is known as stepwise migration. The first step is to move out from a village to a small town. The second step is move out from a small town to a large city. Urban to urban migration is due to multiple factors, economic as well as socio-cultural. It is the main channel of labor supply to the fast growing city. The next point is urban rural migration stream. Urban to rural migration is a kind of reverse flow. This is so because large metropolis, megacities in developed countries attain a high degree of urbanization, which widens the scope for absorption of rural labor in the informal sector of the economy. This also leads to the problem of housing due to the overcongestion of cities and the resultant problems of environmental pollution and poor health. This often forces the migrants to return to their native villages. It may be noted that rural areas in the developing countries are generally underdeveloped. They lack infrastructural facilities to accommodate the rural poor. The story of developed countries is entirely different. Their cities have to have a developed network of transportation which functions efficiently. The people travel daily between the place of residence and the place of work without much difficulty. In India, many of the retired persons tend to settle in their native villages or small towns where they own property or acquire it later. It may be noted that urban to rural stream is not very common. This generally happens when people run away from a metropolitan city such as Kolkata or Mumbai due to social insecurity or expulsion by hostile regimes. Here we want to close this lecture. Thanks for listening.